All right, so the subject for tonight, first of all, welcome to another episode of Prate Me Not. There's a lot of T's.
Prate me not.
Prate Me Not. Um, the subject of today is a very important one, and one that I feel like gets in the way of a lot of people in doing a lot of things, and is resourcefulness.
Resourcefulness.
Resourcefulness. I think this is very important because I have seen firsthand how people just simply don't achieve something that they always wanted to achieve simply because they're not resourceful enough. And first of all, I want to know, for you, Amelia, what is resourcefulness?
Jesus. Ow. I think I pulled something in my neck in reaction. You got me. That was good.
Yeah. So what is resourcefulness to you?
As I straighten out my neck, resourcefulness is the idea that
Is it an idea or is it?
it's a strategy.
It's a strategy.
Yes.
Okay.
Final answer. It's a strategy where you take advantage of what you have around you in order to help you achieve your goals.
Okay. So, mic drop. All right. So I feel like resourcefulness is can be seen from different perspective and different aspect. Although it's the same main idea and is exactly what you were saying, is trying to use everything and being able to pull out even things that are not even around you to achieve something. For example, let's say that you want to start doing a new project or something, and you get hit with this obstacle that you don't know how to go around it or how to deal with it. I feel like that's where resourcefulness comes into hand. You know, let's say that you might say in the moment, oh my God, I'm not gonna do this because simply I can't, because I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know the answer for it, or I don't know how to overcome it. And either you delegate it to someone else, and by doing so, you are already becoming dependent of someone else to doing a project. Obviously, it's not the same when you're already handling a business. You have to delegate and automatize. But I feel when you're doing a personal project or something that you want to do, it's a great practice for you to learn to be resourceful. You know, instead of just being like, oh, I don't know how to do this, trying to find a way. Although sometimes it can be very frustrating. Have you found yourself in situations like that?
Oh, I found myself in one of those situations today.
Really?
Yeah. I have a hard time in general with not getting things right away or not like achieving things right away or knowing how to do it. So I often find this like mental block where my brain's like, this is too hard, let's not try. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I definitely have found that when I am resourceful, it makes my life so much easier. And I also have been on the other side of things where I've been more resourceful and I've had friends ask me the simplest questions of like, where do I find this? What do we do for this? What is blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, dude, the information was given to us like 10 years ago. Like, go look in your notes. Okay. I'm not going to tell you everything.
All right.
How about you?
Well, I mean, we cannot be the perfect resourceful letter, or however you say that.
Resourceful letter?
I found myself in situations like that, and definitely recently what I have discovered is that I have been able to do more and more complex things that before I was not able to. And the resources were around me and the ways were around me, but I just simply didn't have the mental tools to be able to pull it off. So I feel like when you do difficult things and you get used to doing difficult things and you keep on doing more difficult things, and obviously the difficult thing that was for you difficult a year before is not going to be as difficult a year later.
I got lost in the difficulties.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
It's a riddle. It's a riddle. So let's say you start doing something very difficult right now in January, and you keep practicing. Let's say like juggling while riding, I don't know, motorcycle, and it's going to be very difficult at the beginning, but a year later, you're going to be able to do it as a second nature. You might even have a conversation while you're doing it. So the difficult thing that for you was difficult, now is no longer difficult. So I feel like the more we train ourselves to do these difficult things, we are going to be more resourceful. Why? Because I feel like problem solving in general have a certain steps or rules that they will all have. For example, comparing to something that is personal to me, as you know, right now, skydiving has been a big influence in my life, and it has dictated how I live my weekends. Um, there is no space in that sport for people that are not resourceful. Mm. You need to be able to deal with situations where you have no idea what you're doing. You're just going to try your best and try to remember what this person said in this situation. And, well, if this is not working, what can I do? Where can I land? How can I exit the plane? I'm not stable. How can I go back? Like, all of these things, especially in your first jumps, you have to... I feel like if you have never done difficult things before skydiving, you should know what you're getting yourself into. Like, you're not going to be as prepared. And I feel like it's the same if we compare it to a physical thing. If you are an athlete and you already understand what the struggle is for training hard, very hard. Let's say that you were a professional basketball player that retired and now you want to go into bodybuilding. You're probably used to that pain, that price that you have to pay in order to achieve that bodybuilding goal. And I feel like it's the same for mental resourcefulness. Whenever you're dealing with another difficult situation, you're like your brain might say, we have been through this, we have the tools for it, let's just find what resources we need to feel this. And I feel like for me that has been the biggest insight that I've got of resourcefulness lately. Is like, right now I'm way more resourceful, but I don't feel like it's because of the age. I feel, well, it might help, and experience of that stuff, but I feel like I've been through so many things, so difficult situations that had helped me to have a faster way of solving other difficult situations that I encounter. What have been the moment that you have felt the most resourceful, that you were like, whoa, I can't believe I pulled that off?
Honestly, every single day of my teaching career.
Really?
Every single day.
Okay. How so?
Well, you never know what students are going to do or not do. And no matter how much you plan for it, it's never going to go exactly the way you planned. The days that it does, you're like, how in the world is this possible? Like, I feel like I just won the lottery, because they are so, so rare. But pretty much every other day, or every day except for like 1 in a million, mm-hmm. It goes the opposite way you were expecting, or it goes in a totally different direction, and you have to know, or you have to be ready to adjust and make it work and make the students get the main idea somehow, even if it means stuffing it down their throats. So I feel like every single day of my teaching career, I've had to be resourceful and really figure out how each one of my students can access this material that is honestly like way too high for what they should be expected to do, given the resources that they have or the lack thereof. So it's constantly coming up with solutions and trying to put fires out and trying to make kids learn things, which if they learn something one day, that's a win. It doesn't matter how they got there. If they learned something, that's a win.
Gotcha. That's interesting what you're saying. So I have 2 things that I would like to comment with you. So basically, as a teacher, you are the one that has to be resourceful for them to learn. So basically now, do you feel like now that the schooling system is not pushing them to be resourceful, or is it, because here's the thing about being resourceful. If you, let's say if you make me go into a room with someone that speaks Chinese, I do not speak Chinese apart from ni hao or xi shen or stuff like that, and you make me talk to that person, doesn't matter how resourceful I am, I won't be able to speak that language, because it's very, very hard. Now if I have certain words that I can build up and be creative in the way that I use them to communicate a message. Let's say it's only verbally, I cannot do anything with my body. But if I have certain words, let's say, I don't even know, like the basic words of it, I can maybe communicate something, being resourceful, like the combinations or stuff. But I feel like if a task is way too difficult, we're not gonna be able to exercise our resourcefulness. Like it doesn't matter. Like it has to be a gradual challenge, and if you're under challenged, then you're not gonna be resourceful because it's gonna be so easy that you're not gonna improve your tools or become better or sharpen them. So I feel like there has to be a line there where is a challenge, but it's not so big of a challenge that you're just gonna be overwhelmed and you don't even have the tools to deal with it.
Exactly.
So I feel like in that aspect of being a teacher, you are the one that has to be resourceful for them.
Right, which now that I think about it doesn't make any sense at all. Because isn't the whole purpose of school building up that resourcefulness so that when you're presented with similar material in the future, you can figure things out? Because as you're saying, like, you have to have some tools in order to be resourceful, in order to somehow achieve your goal. Because ultimately resourcefulness is about reaching a goal, reaching an outcome. So like for the example with being in a room with only people that speak Chinese, the overall goal is to be able to communicate. And even if you don't have any words that you can speak in Chinese, you could use body movements, and that would be being resourceful. But if it's so hard where like you were forced to speak over the phone to someone, that is like you don't have anything to work with. No way. And it's like in school, if you're shoved into a class that is an honors level English class and you don't have even a basic level of English, you're set up to fail. And I don't think it's the fault of the students. I don't think it's the fault of any one school in particular. I think the system of education is just not set up to build kids' resourcefulness. It's set up to get them to achieve certain numbers or certain scores on tests and then get into colleges. It's not built to develop them as human beings, and I think that is a huge robbery that we are doing to children.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of it all, like, being resourceful is just one of the biggest things that we have to be able not to survive, but be able to play this society game.
It kind of is to survive. Like, if you think about it, this is very much a climb your way to the top type of society, and like if you make one mistake you could fall, or even if you don't make mistakes you could fall, and like you have to be able to look out for yourself in order to survive.
Yeah, I think part of the reason why people get stuck in certain stages in their life is because of lack of resourcefulness. Sometimes they don't even understand what's wrong, so there's no way you can be resourceful about it. But to close out this episode, I want to ask a question to the audience. Do you feel like the education system that where you were raised on made you be resourceful, or simply made you complete some tasks that were either too difficult or were way too easy? Did the system help you be resourceful? I think that is a question I want to leave on. And also, what things can you do to become more resourceful? Because at the end, you're not going to be able to achieve the things that you might want to if you're not resourceful enough. To give one last example, I need shoulder surgery in my right shoulder. But the doctor said that I could still work out if I work around my injury. So for me, it was a trial and error, trying to find out exercises that did not hurt my shoulder, and it was very hard to find those movements and different ways to lift the weights. But now the fact that I was able to find that way, I'm able to work out. That was what I wanted to do. If I didn't have the ability to be resourceful and find ways, then I wouldn't have been able to work out and enjoy going to the gym. And I feel like we all have obstacles and challenges that we all need to overcome. And it's just a matter of practicing our resourcefulness. Because it's very easy. It's very easy to always say, oh, no, I can't. Or here, you do it because I can't find this. Or I don't know how to do it. That's the easy way out. And again, the Prate Me Not podcast and YouTube channel is not about that. Anything else you want to add before we leave?
Last question. How do you think being resourceful helps you mentally?
I feel like every time you are able to be resourceful enough to solve a problem or to achieve something, that is a confidence boost. And confidence is very important when you're being resourceful, because you need to trust yourself that you're going to be able to pull it off. If you don't have that initial confidence or trust in yourself, then you're not going to be willing to be resourceful or not, because you already think you know what the result is going to be, and it is that you're going to fail. But if you already know that you can make this happen, then that's the initial plug. And I feel like the only way to become more confident when it comes to resourcefulness is just tackling smaller tasks and build your way up to difficult tasks.
That's good advice.
All right.